College football is just a few weeks away, and it's getting exciting here in the Mid-Ohio Valley as Mountaineer fans are rejoicing to see their team back on the field. I'm joined by one half of the Raspy Voice Kids, Brandon Phoenix, to talk about the upcoming season, conference realignment, and a new beer that came out involving West Virginia University. So, Brandon, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. You know, I love being here back in the Mid-Ohio Valley, back in Parkersburg. Excited for the opportunity to talk sports.
Absolutely, Brandon. So the first thing I do want to talk about with you is it's been crazy the last couple weeks. Conference realignment is taking over the sports world and the college world. Can we just talk about the Big 12 has now expanded? They've added a couple Pac-12 teams, and the Pac-12 is basically dissolving here. So what are your thoughts about the new additions to the conference?
They've added the four corners. You get Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. It's glorious. Why is it glorious? Not because I care a ton about any of these teams. Colorado might be my favorite because of Coach Prime time. You gotta love Coach Prime. But more than anything else, it's because it destabilizes a competitor. It essentially ended the Pac-12 because Oregon and Washington go to the Big Ten, and it gives legitimacy to the Big 12, where West Virginia is, which is what I want. I want West Virginia to be stable. I want West Virginia to be safe, and that's where we are. And like Drake said, when he was talking about an ex-girlfriend, when I look at people like the ACC, when I look at people like the Pac-12, I think, you know, you didn't really think about me back then, but how about now? Because I'm up right now. And they're stuck right now, right?
That's a great song, by the way.
That's a great song, and it's the truth. That's where they are. The ACC's getting paid peanuts. The Big 12's got a better payout. The Pac-12 is now essentially dissolved. There's the Pac-4 now, and the Big 12 is up, and West Virginia is part of that. It's great to be a part of a realignment, reconfiguration, all of the things that are happening, and West Virginia does not have to worry. They don't have to struggle. They don't have to stress. There's no stress, Virginia, for once in our lifetime. This is fantastic. I love it.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to ask too, Brandon, because there's been murmurs out there. We were talking about this before we got on set. You mentioned the ACC in your last talk.
Yeah.
People have talked about West Virginia potentially moving maybe to the ACC in the future, maybe not this year, next year, but could be a move down the line because realistically, location-wise, you know, on the map, it kind of makes sense for them. A lot of those ACC schools are a lot closer to them than the Big 12 now, where you have to go out to Arizona, Colorado. You know, you have UCF over in Florida. So they are all over the map, the Big 12. What are your thoughts about maybe a potential move in the future to the ACC?
Like a famous poet once said, if it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense, right? So everybody wants to talk geography. Everybody wants to talk about regional rivalries. That's great. But if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. The money's not right in the ACC. And in the ACC, they're locked to a grant of rights that goes to 2035. They're stuck. When Maryland left, the ACC said never again. They said they're not going to get poached again. If there was a way out of that grant of rights, Florida State would have found it. Clemson would have found it. They're not happy, but they can't get out. West Virginia is safe where we are. We're getting paid where we are. The ACC is not a better option. Stay in the Big 12.
Absolutely. I do have to agree with you there. I do think staying in the Big 12 for now is the correct option, even though I do love my Syracuse Orange and they're in the ACC. But I want to turn our attention to the gridiron now because fall practices have been underway for a week or two now. And I want to hear your thoughts on maybe what you've seen, what you've heard, what you're looking forward to with this team.
Well, there's battles happening all over camp, and that's what you like. Competition breeds success. You want there to be competition. You want there to be battles. You want people to feel uncomfortable. You want people to work hard, to be pushed. When you have Nico Marchiol and you've got Garrett Green, there's a battle. James Hurd, Jr., the freshman, pass rusher, you're hearing great things from Jordan Leslie saying that this guy's a natural as a pass rusher. He's got all the right moves. He's doing all the right things. He may not be ready to go right away, but he's going to be a factor this season. I love hearing it. Aubrey Burks, they're saying he's a ball hawk. I like hearing that. Jacoby Spells, are hearing big things about that guy. Lee Koba, that guy's not in any kind of a battle. That guy's probably going to be first team all Big 12. He's a monster in the middle. I'm just excited about the things I'm hearing about the defense. You notice I keep talking about the defense. Everybody's focused on that seasoned Big 12 offensive line, 3 first-team all-Big 12ers by some outlets.
Right.
Garrett Green, a lot of people talking about him because of his mobility, even though he was ranked last out of all Power 5 quarterbacks by an outlet that I will not mention. Will not give them the clout. And there are other guys out there trying to make a name for themselves, especially when you look at the wide receiver room. There are not a lot of names that people know. We've got some transfers, people who are trying to show who they are, what they can do. We're going to have to wait and see. But the defense, which was much maligned last year, has an opportunity to prove themselves.
Absolutely. So I do want to ask too, this might be your way too early prediction. What are you thinking record-wise for the Mountaineers this year? I know that's a hard question.
Yeah.
It's a loaded question because we haven't even seen them in true game action.
Yeah, they're going to have, soon, and maybe it's happened already actually by the time this airs, they're going to have a 45 to 50 play scrimmage. So we're going to get a better idea of what's actually going to happen, what they're going to have in pads.
Right.
It's hard to say. A lot of starters haven't even been named yet. I don't think they're going to finish number 14 though in the conference.
Right, that's what preseason polls had them ranked as. So
yeah.
I agree with you there.
And it wasn't just one. Several preseason polls had them finishing 14th in the Big 12. I don't think this is the 14th team in the Big 12. That I can tell you. I don't know that I can give you a record, but they're not the 14th team in the Big 12. I don't think they're a great team, but I think they're better than 14th. Charles Wesley Godwin said that that's all the motivation they need. Country singer, turning into a budding superstar. He went to that practice, he gave them a speech, and he said all the motivation they need is to say 14. Every time they go to step on that field, 14. And I hope they use that as a mantra, 14, to remind themselves that nobody outside of Morgantown, nobody outside of the great state of West Virginia, nobody outside of their families believes in them. They got to believe in themselves, and they've got to prove to the nation they're better than 14.
Mid-Ohio Valley, I don't know if it's me, but I'm ready to run through a wall after that speech. I think you need to take Neil Brown's job, Brandon, and become the new head football coach over with the Mountaineers.
If they're paying, I'm playing, man. Let's do it.
Absolutely. But now I want to get to our final topic here, and it's about a trip you took recently with your co-host / brother, Jeremy, down to Morgantown for a pretty cool event. Can you tell us all about it?
Yeah, we went to the Mountaineer Tap House where the Country Roads Trust put on an event for their new beer with Big Timber Brewing, Trust Lager. It is a fantastic light lager that, more important than anything else, 15% of all proceeds go to the NIL. Why is that important? Because if you want to support Mountaineer sports, if you want Mountaineer sports to succeed, not just football and basketball, the big dogs, football being the one that is driving the bus for everything, basketball right next to it, but all sports, gymnastics, volleyball, baseball, all those sports, if you want to see success, NIL is the key to the future. And the way that happens is with Trust Lager. 15% of proceeds from every beer sold goes to the NIL collective at Country Roads Trust. We were there to be a part of that. Ren Baker, the AD, was there. Vice President AD, he was there. Randy Mazey was there. Amanda Mazey was there. And so many more. Stephen Ford, shout out to Stephen Ford. Good dude, great hair. And so many other people. Jay Kuntz, the guy who's kept so many people in this basketball class together. And they're there because this is a big deal. So if you want to support NIL and you're not sure how to do it, if you're a beer drinker, go buy Trust Lager. You can find it anywhere Big Timber is sold. If it's not here in the Parkersburg area yet, it will be soon. And it will definitely be at Mountaineer Field and in the Coliseum. It's definitely Raspy Voice Kid approved.
Well, you've definitely got me excited to try this beer now, Brandon, because it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And I want to obviously help the cause too. So
it's crisp, it's refreshing, you'll love it.
But Brandon, I do want to ask too, how can people listen to you and Jeremy when you guys have a podcast out?
So if you listen to podcasts, whatever platform you listen on, we're there. Primarily the big ones, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, we're on Podbean, we're on all of the places where you listen to podcasts. You can find us. We do a YouTube show also. Some of our podcast episodes will go on YouTube, so you can check us out there. We post our clips on Twitter. That's where we do a lot of our interacting with the different people who listen to our show. So we post all of that stuff so that you can find us on Instagram, on our stories. Check us out, Raspy Voice Kids, on all social media platforms. I also hate Pitt because no matter what you know about us, no matter what you know about me, you need to know I also hate Pitt. And JNPHEEN for JN Fiend, my brother, my co-host. That's how you can find us, that's how you can interact with us, and that's how you can listen to the Raspy Voice Kids.
Well, Brandon, thank you so much for joining me here. It's always an awesome time to get to sit down with you, and we definitely do miss Jeremy too, because I haven't gotten to hang out with both of you in a while.
It's been a grip.
Absolutely. But if you want to catch this full interview, make sure to head on over to our website, WDAP.com, click on the article, and we'll have this whole interview posted there.